That's what we're trained to believe. I'm a product of my environment. Da, 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 da. I think your environment should be a product of you. I think that your environment can be a product of you, but it all comes down to energy. It's sort of like if you have the solar system, all the planets revolve around the sun, and it's because the sun it has the most energy. The sun is not revolved around any of the planets. The sun is literally just sitting there, and it just shining. It's just doing its thing, and all the planets just revolve around the sun because the gravitational pull of the sun is so strong. All the planets have a gravitational pull, but the sun's gravity is the strongest. That's why everything in the solar system revolves around the sun. And so the difference between the sun and the planets pretty much comes down to energy, maybe size and energy, right? Or the size of the energy, if you want to call it that. So I would almost say that if you want to, if you want your environment to be a product of you, then you build up your energy, right? The sun is not product of its environment. The sun doesn't say, well, the reason I went left is because Pluto told me to, or or I had to wiggle because Neptune, Neptune and Jupiter are so powerful that they made me do it. No, the sun don't say nothing. The sun doesn't even worry about what Neptune and Pluto and Jupiter are doing. Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto are responding to the sun because there's a difference in energy. So I think that when you go into your space with your family or with your friends or with anything, you can make a decision. What's my energy going to be? Am I going to bring the energy and the confidence such that my environment becomes a product of me? Or am I just going to sit and shrink myself down and be afraid and let myself just be a product of the environment? Right. So ultimately this is how I view a lot of these things. And I really think that Black people are taught to shrink. I really think that we're taught to shrink. And what are examples of this? Well, when you have the little kid in school who is doing well and making good grades, and somebody makes a joke about him and says, "You're acting white," what does that kid do? What do they do to try to fit in? Well, they'll try to be dumb. They'll try to be a thug. They'll try to be, ignorant, right? Because they feel like ignorance is cool, right? That's what makes the girls like him and whatever, right? Or if you have a little girl who's really good at math and science, and the other girls make fun of her because she knows biology better than she knows makeup, or she knows math better than she knows Cardi B lyrics, and the other girls make fun of her, and then the boy that she likes isn't interested in her because he thinks she's too smart. Well, what's she going to do a lot of times? She's going to shrink herself down. She's going to make herself stupid, right? She's going to play dumb, right? So we're taught to shrink at an early age. And then don't even talk about the white man. You get around white folks, you take a 6'5" Negro, and he'll become 5'6". He turns into Kevin Hart overnight because he knows that he has to be Kevin Hart spiritually and psychologically in order for them to feel comfortable with him. And I don't think that that's the best of who we are. I don't think that's the best that we can be. So what I want to do is play this clip with Demond Wilson one more time, and then I want us to analyze this, and I want us to think about this in the context of family and accountability. And because I know a lot of you are going through this struggle. So many of you come up to me at events, the All Black National Convention and stuff like that, and you've told me about your relatives and how do I get my family members to listen? How do I get my cousins to do this and do that? And I would just tell you the short answer is you really can't. But I'll give you some tips